Hi guys, this is Wayne from Wayne Goodman Photography, and Wayne's Got Gas. I'm just bringing to you now a test between the 35mm Sony lens with f2.8 aperture, FE lens, and the Canon, I'll put it there, no, there, the Canon 40mm f2.8 pancake lens. This test is going to be on both the Commlite adapter with the Canon and the Metabones IV adapter. So you can see the difference in focusing speeds between a native lens and also the adapted lens on two different adapters. We also, the subjects that I've used, I have a what we got here. So we've got a little ornament here which there's not much contrast to, but there's enough that it'll give us a good idea. Then there's the that's another thing you might want to be aware of, is the proximity of the eye sensor. To me, I've not found it too bad actually. I found it pretty good. I believe some people have complained in the past, but I've been alright with it. So we have, if I can not activate that, the middle one there is just about, well, it's about another 10 centimeters back from the right hand ornament, and then right at the back right at the back here we have another ornament again, and that is another 10 centimeters back. I tried to keep them sort of in a parallel line, or horizontal line. And then on the left hand side, the very left, we have a pair of sunglasses which have got a reflection in them, but you know, it's a glossy shiny object. I was hoping that it might not want to focus so much on there, so it's a bit of a varied test, and hopefully it gives us some idea. So camera as it stands now, I've got it on single point focus mode. Okay, so a lot of people keep telling me go to wide, but the reason I don't go to wide is because it doesn't always know where to focus on, but I will do for this test. So we'll aim it towards the first ornament there. It's picked up on it, so you can see my finger. It's nice and quick. Then the second ornament, I don't know if the wide is going to pick up on this or not, but yeah, can you see it's got the face detection there going again? So it does seem to pick up on a circle as a face sometimes. So the wide can just be, it's going between the two at the minute. Even though it's got face detection, it's still occasionally picking up on the other one. And then we'll try and, yeah, you see it's not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to have to switch it to the single point focus mode. And to be honest, for me, that's a real world test, because that's generally what I would use it on. I would use it either on the flexible spot or just a central point focus, and then I would recompose the camera. That's the way I shoot, and that's the, you know, what I want to see. But I'll do as many variants, I'll vary it as much as possible. So we'll start again. So we'll do ornament 1, ornament 2, ornament 3. I think it's just hitting that, and then just yeah, see there's the glasses. Now they're actually filling the entire central spot, so if I just do, if we do a flexible spot, and what I'll do is you can actually make that bigger and smaller. So we'll make it as small as possible, and hopefully this doesn't affect, you know, too many things, but I'm just gonna sort of stick it in the center. You can actually press the custom 4 button, that'll just centralize it. So we'll try again. So you see, still very quick. Now we can definitely get on that. So there's just a bit of hunting, isn't there? Just a slight bit, and then so again, this is all with the Sony 35mm f2.8, so hopefully that gives you some idea how it behaves as standard with a native lens. It's actually I've turned all the focus things off, such as pre-AF, and obviously it's not in continuous mode, it's actually in single focus mode, but there's no pre-AF. In one of my previous videos it was pointed out to me that there's a pre-AF option, which means that it's not continuous AF, but it does sort of help you out, and it only seems to work with the native lenses. So I've turned that off just to make it all as, you know, as similar as possible in every way. Just going to turn the camera off now. and I'm going to fit the 40mm Canon. Oops, just move that. I'm going to fit the 40mm Canon now on the Commlite adapter. Okay, so this is now with the Commlite adapter. Okay, so now I've actually, with this, I might struggle actually, because I'm going to have to take the camera off the tripod, of course. So because with these mounts, you can take the mounts off these, like the tripod mounts off, but for the purposes of this test, we'll do it where we actually use the mount that's on the lens, so you can see on the adapter. So there you can see we've got that. So I'm just going to fit that to the camera now. Okay, and then I'm going to put the tripod foot back on here. I'll just do that quickly, and then let's right. So now I'll just now obviously this is a 40mm lens versus a 35mm, so it's going to be a slightly different focal length, but not, as you can see, not massive at all by any means. We're now on the Commlite autofocus, exactly the same settings as we had before with a very small focal point. I'm just going to try that, let's see. Okay, so okay, so yeah, it's decent performance, that, isn't it? Let's go back to here and let's make this bigger. So you start to get the phase points showing now. So you know, this is a decent performance anyway. And then we'll just do the wide focus. And that's obviously where the camera chooses everything itself, where it thinks you want to focus. So we've got next to no chance of it actually focusing on that ornament right at the back there. So I've done this just purely to show you. Okay, so that gives you some idea compared to the other lens adapter. And now I'm going to switch the camera off. And let's put the Metabones on. Now the Metabones, I have actually, I've checked that it's up to date, should I say, and it is. It's version 0.41, the firmware, and just pop that on there. It's the first time it's been on the camera. Yeah, good solid click. That ain't going nowhere. It really isn't. I'm just going to pop this over here for a minute. Yeah, so that actually feels a lot tighter than the Commlite, and even compared to when I first got the Commlite, so it's not like from any use, it's, you know, it's loosened up or what have you. Yeah, and putting the lens on there, again, the whole thing, that's as if you've just got a lens. It's as if there's no, you know, no adapter in between at all. So very impressed with certainly the fit of it. And let's try, I'm just going to mount the foot now to the Metabones adapter. So just same old thing, you know, onto here. Obviously the foot can be removed, like I explained in the unboxing video. So you know, you can take it off. I think I'll need to on a couple of my lenses, but we'll find that out in other videos, I guess. Right, so now we're back on the camera, and let's try the same test. Right, that's with the wide setting. I'm sorry I'm rushing here, but the battery's actually dying on the Sony. Let's have flexible spot on the larger setting. Yeah, it's just hunting a little bit, but still it's a great performance, no doubt about that. Although, am I seeing much difference between this and the... Look, can you see that? That's trying to hunt. So it just managed to find focus there. Don't think that we would have got that with the Sony. Okay, and let's just try the same thing again, but with a very small area for focus. So, see, it's struggling on those sunglasses because there's no area point of contrast. That was just to, you know, just see sort of, just to give it a bit of an extra push in terms of testing it. And there we go. So that hopefully compares the speed of the 35mm Sony lens to the 40mm Canon as well as possible. No pre-AF, all the settings are the same. f5.6 through all of them, same ISO, same speed, so everything, you know, kept as similar as possible. The only thing that's different really is the focal length, and I noticed that maybe the Sony is slightly faster, but there's no massive difference. I think on the older model Sonys there was sometimes an absolutely massive difference between the two, so it's very impressive. I mean, really, if you compare it, I know I said the Metabones is expensive, it is without a doubt, but if that stays as good in low light, the performance, then theoretically the sharpness I think would be very similar. I've not tested that, but I believe that it's a very, very good lens, this Canon anyway, from what I've seen in the past. So what I would say is that for those two things there add up to basically the same price as the 35mm Sony lens. The only difference being that the Sony lens obviously has a slightly wider focal length, but also that particular lens is weather sealed. Now that could come in handy, especially where I live, which is very wet all the time. So obviously with this, I mean, I don't think water would get in there, but this isn't a weather sealed lens. But there's no rubber seals, there's no rubber gaskets, but the tightness of it against the body is very, very, very tight, so that should hopefully stop any issues with water. But I certainly wouldn't, you know, go out in a rain shower with it, definitely not, because, you know, it's not actually classed as weatherproof, so don't go trying that. I wouldn't suggest it's a good idea. So there you go, we've done a test in normal daylight conditions. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got a grey overcast sky, and I'm just in a room with sort of like glass panel roofing, so got quite an even level of light, and that hopefully gives you a good idea of the performance. Keep subscribing, keep commenting. I'm going to put some more videos up of the Canon 7200 and another lens possibly as well. Okay, thanks.